Hi, my name is Vince Giordano, and I'm here with a few of my friends and now a new friend here, this wonderful award that I got from the Bix Society. Thank you so much. Thank you, Albert Haim, for suggesting that I get this award, and thanks to the Society for acknowledging that, and I was very touched and pleased. Randy Sankey, my good musician friend and member of the Bix Society, asked me to say a few things and keep it down to a minute. Well, it's kind of hard because I've been associated with the music of Bix Beiderbecke for, I don't know, over a half century, I guess. I'd say my humble beginnings were when I was growing up on Long Island and hitting antique stores looking for records. You'd never find really any jazz records there. They were picked through. And you'd find just regular dance band stuff, and I collected a little bit of that, and eventually got to the library and started reading about the music of the 1920s, and two wonderful books. This is the reissue. I don't know what happened to my original, Richard Hadlock's Jazz Masters of the 20s, a wonderful chapter on Bix, and Jazz, the New York Scene by Charters and Kunstad, and lots of mention of this great musician, Bix Beiderbecke. At that point in my life, I didn't even know how to pronounce Bix's last name. I took a guess and read all the accounts of what musicians said about him, his beautiful choice of notes, his drive, his wonderful spirit, his creative mind. So I said, wow, I gotta find out about Bix. So again, not having too much luck in the 78 department, I stumbled into a record store one day and a few years later, and the wonderful 3-volume set here on Columbia that George Avakian, who autographed it for me, really got me going with Bix Beiderbecke and the music and the musicians he worked with, and so that's really how it started, and I definitely had Bix as one of my heroes of the musicians and part of the music that I liked in the 1920s. Joining the union, I got a little union directory, and reading about many of the musicians in these books, the name Bill Chalice was listed, and I was a young fellow. I was about 13 or 14, and I wrote a letter to Mr. Chalice, who lived in Massapequa. I lived in Smithtown, and said, I'd love to take lessons from you. And he said, fine. The lessons are $10 an hour, and I was so young, my dad used to have to drive me there because I had no way of getting there. And studying with Bill was fantastic, learning his sense of notation. But then after the lesson, we'd spend anywhere from 1 to 2 hours talking about the different musicians that he worked with, and a lot of the talk was about Bix and this mysterious man in my life at this point, and how he annotated the Bix piano suite, and how Bix would help him with arrangements that he was working on, either with Goldkett or Whiteman, and Bix would play something either on the piano or on the cornet, and he just had a never-ending bunch of great melodic and jazz ideas, and Bill acknowledged that. He said he helped me out a lot and was a great friend. And through Bill, I met a lot of musicians that worked with Bix, like Chauncey Morehouse, the drummer, who was there quite often. They were trying to write some music together, and Joe Tardo, who worked with Bix a few times, and then got to meet Spiegel Wilcox and Bill Rank, two of the trombonists of the Goldkett band, and of course Joe Venuti a little bit later. So through Bill, I was helped quite a lot in my quest to find out as much as I could from the actual people that were there. When I see the Bridget Berman documentary, I kind of choke up, because seeing those fellas alive again, so to speak, is very touching to see them again. Bix what more can I add to what we already know? But his approach to music was always fantastic. His choice of notes and on his solos, they were almost like compositions. I know they were freely improvised solos, which he never repeated himself, but they were mini compositions that many people studied, imitated, copied, because it was just a great achievement that he did. And he unfortunately left us too soon. It would have been really interesting to hear what Bix would have done in the swing era and thereafter. I'm sure he would have added a lot, and his piano compositions too. So before I say goodbye, I'm going to give everyone a homework assignment. And the homework assignment is, it's much easier now to spread the music of Bix and other jazz people in the 1920s and 30s with emails, and there's tons of material on YouTube and websites. So if everyone could help out a little bit and introduce some of this music to some young folks, or maybe folks who never heard it before, it would be really great. Because as you know, we don't hear the music of Bix as much as we should and could. It's not on TV, it's not on radio, save for the Bix Memorial birthday program that happens every year, and of course at the Bix Society, the Bix Bash. And so that's it. Try to encourage and introduce this music to more people, and we will truly say that Bix lives.